Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Initiative Order, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 1 of the Throne of Thorns, our Symbaroum actual play. Sword and Key, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome on in. Thank you so much for joining us today. Hope you're having a lovely Sunday so far. My name is Nate Ridenauer. I will be your GM for this journey. And before we dive back into our story and pick up the next chapter of our journey, let's go ahead and reintroduce our wonderful cast of players who we have. So let's start off with Coral, please.
Hi, friends. My name's Coral Reefer. I'm going to be playing Agithe, or Aggie for short. She is your lovable grandma, who is also the mistress of potions and poisons.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Let's go over to Kelsey, please.
Hi everyone, I'm Kelsey, and I am playing Kinlegelana, a changeling witch.
Excellent, thank you so much. Let's go over to Leroy.
Hey everyone, I am Leroy, and I am playing Nrobso, the axe artist goblin.
Perfect, thank you so much. And Christine, please.
Hi everybody, I'm
There you are.
Christine, and I'm playing Laerke, the super spooky barbarian retired Wrath Guard.
Excellent, thank you so much. And as for our fifth member, our good friend Keith, who also plays our wonderful witch companion Kovaan, in the middle of a lot of busy life stuff, so we are looking forward to having him back, though, very, very soon. With that, though, let's go ahead and dive back into the world of Symbaroum. And welcome back, everybody. So, before we dive headfirst into our story, let's just do a quick recap of events that took place during Chapter 1. Our group, you had all come together in a small town known as Thistlehold, right on the edge of Ambria and the Davokar woods. It was in the small hold where you were immediately thrown into an adventure of investigating corruptive forces that were emanating from deep within Thistlehold, deep underground, from the subterranean tunnel areas. After lots of clue chasing and running about the area, you eventually were able to form a somewhat alliance with some of the elves that you had found who were members of the Iron Pact. And it was with these elves that you were able to find the heart of this corruption down in the sinkhole that had revealed itself within Thistlehold. And upon this descent, you heard chanting. It was down in this area that you found this massive crystal isle where the leader of this cult was getting ready to resurrect a god, the god of Davokar, one of the massive ox wardens who once protected the forests. It was on this isle that you all fought your hearts out, taking down these cultists while the citizens above fought the corruptive monstrosities that were crawling their way out of the sinkhole. But in the end, you were all victorious in stopping this cult from resurrecting this god, at least on their terms. And upon their defeat, the elven woman known as Anadia had revealed herself, and you all accompanied her as well as the witch Gadramon to somewhere deep within the Davokar forests, a place you had not seen before, as they were able to rip open a portal through space and time, and you all stepped through, and ended up in this almost small ritualistic area with these stone pedestals built around it, and an altar. And it was here that Gadramon and Anadia took the skull of Eox, and you all stood around him on those pedestals, offering up your own energies to resurrect him in a way that was more so favorable to Davokar. And once this ritual was complete, you did indeed see the massive form of Eox rise once again, as he looked to all of you, thanking you, each and every one of you, for the work that you put in from rescuing him from this cult and bringing him back to life, to where he can now resume his duties in protecting the Davokar forests. And it was at this time that he and Gadramon took their leave, heading deeper into Davokar, while Anadia brought you back to Thistlehold. And it is now on the outskirts of Thistlehold where you all stand once more, facing the gate that you had first walked through. And you can now take in the total devastation and the aftermath of what has taken place from the corruptive entities that had poured out from beneath the city. Aggie, you have been informed that you have lost one of your fellow syndicate members, and that of Grim. And you have all also been informed that the eldest Mikkel brother, Henlone, who had made his way back from Temple Wall to help fight these forces, has also perished within the battle. As you look upon the gates of Thistlehold, you can see that there are many, many Ambrians. A lot of them look lost. A lot of them have just this air of depression about them. As you can see, they're working together to clean up some of the rubble. You see countless bodies just being moved off the streets and covered as respectfully as they possibly can. And as you're looking upon this gate, you do see the familiar face, though, of Captain Marvello. As she stands there, just looking completely exhausted, her armor very much beaten and torn. You can see many cuts all across her face now at this point. From what you can tell, it looks like one of her arms may be broken as she is just clutching it. And she still stands there doing her duty, though, just trying to guide people away from the devastation, trying to keep some semblance of organization in this aftermath. As she kind of looks up towards all of you, and you can see she makes eye contact and just kind of nods in your direction. But it is here where we will start this chapter on the outskirts of Thistlehold. What would you all like to do?
Well, maybe one of us should replace Marvello for a little bit. Would anyone like to go check on Cargoy and make sure his daughter is taken care of?
Nrobso
Yes.
has concerns for Krenko and Goblin Company.
Of course.
It looks like the captain's arm might be broken, and I should tend to that.
Of course, of course.
And
Well-
I'll pick up for the captain in the meantime.
Does it look like there's anything I can do to help people right now, Nate?
Is there anything specific that you would like to try to do? Would you like to help clean up some of the debris, tend to the bodies, just kind of ask around and see kind of where everything currently stands? You're welcome to any of those.
I think I'm going to see where things currently stand, but I'm probably going, if I see any children that look very displaced, I'm going to start herding them along with me.
Okay, for sure. So you all begin to approach the gates together, Aggie making your way straight to Captain Marvello, I assume, to check on her arm.
Yes.
Okay. As you approach, Marvello kind of smiles at you, Aggie, and it's good to see you made it through.
Likewise. I'm sure this place would have been much worse off if you hadn't been here. So, well done.
Thank you. It was a tough fight, but the hold still stands.
That it does. I can't help but notice your arm, and I know that you've been going at this for quite a while. My companion, Laerke, has volunteered to take over while we tend to your wounds, if you're okay with that.
I would greatly appreciate any help.
Well, we're here to provide it.
There's some medical tents set up over here. Head that way. Just kind of looks towards you, Laerke, and just kind of nod. And Aggie, you and the captain make your way over to kind of just a little set up medical area. There's about 3 or 4 tents currently. And you can see that as you approach, there are some Ambrians who are in these tents. A lot of them look to be wounded, but not life-threatening, from what you can see as you're walking over to this area. And Marvello kind of finds an empty bench and kind of just takes a seat on it. And see her kind of slowly taking down her robe and undoing her armor as she offers her arm for you to examine.
Yeah, I'll just do some light little poking around. Let me know if anything hurts, and please be honest about it. Don't try and tough it out.
Sure. Go ahead and give me a medicine check here, if you would be so kind.
Come on, Cunning, let's go. Nice. That is a 9 out of 15.
9 out of 15, excellent. As you are feeling up and down Marvello's arm, you can definitely tell that it is fractured in probably 4 different places as you're kind of pushing along it. However, even as you're kind of feeling it up and down, you can tell, like, she's not really responsive to it. She's just kind of got that 1,000-yard stare out into the hold.
Well, it is definitely broken. I'm sure you already knew that. However, it's broken in about 4 different places, so I'm going to go ahead and do my best to set it. However, you need to make sure to not use it after that.
And it's just kind of not. Just continues staring down at the ground. Laerke, over by the gates, you see dozens upon dozens of individuals who just look completely lost. As some of them are kind of like staring up at the buildings that are now kind of destroyed and crumbling, and you see a couple individuals who look to be looking for family members as they're calling out different names just out into the ether. Is there anything in particular you would like to do?
I think that I would want to assist with any sort of like rescue efforts that are happening in any of like the collapsed buildings or rubble. And also I'm kind of doing this in a passing motion on my way towards the barracks to go check on Tsum Tsum and the wagon.
Okay, excellent. So as you're kind of passing through quickly, go ahead and just give me a vigilance check if you would, to see if you can see anybody in immediate danger.
4 out of 10.
4 out of 10, okay. As you're kind of passing through and just kind of keeping an eye on the buildings and listening in for any cries for help, you don't notice anything that sounds like it's a dire situation. Seems like a lot of the buildings in this area have already been evacuated and cleared out. There's nobody in immediate danger. And you do see, as you're moving in, more of the Knights Guard kind of making their way through the streets, trying to help guide people. You also notice what looks to be a handful of Templars that are also now revealing themselves in the streets, wearing armor very similar to that of the McKell brothers, so a bit more padded up compared to the Night's Watch. But as you're kind of passing through and looking at these individuals, it looks like they are more so cleaning up the bodies of the abominations, kind of cleaning up the rotting flesh and the remnants of those monstrosities that had come crawling out. It seems to be what they're more focused on.
Okay.
But it is easy enough for you to push your way over to the barracks, where you do see your cart, and you do see Tsum Tsum still standing there. His eyes are a bit wide, but I mean, he's a moose. He doesn't fully quite understand what's happening around him.
Okay, I'll go over to him and I'll actually unhitch him from the wagon and just kind of let him like walk or like get some of that. I know he doesn't look super stressed, but maybe he wants to walk around a little bit, you know.
Okay, for sure. For sure, you go over and you unhitch Tsum Tsum, and you see him as he kind of starts meandering his way through some of the encampment, just kind of walking his way between the tents. He almost takes his antlers and tries to start poking his head into a couple of them, just trying to see what's going on.
Yeah, I'm just looking him over as he's walking, make sure he's walking okay. There really isn't anything wrong here.
Oh yeah, he's fine. There's been no damage to Tsum Tsum. He's been safe in his little encampment that he's got going on here.
Yeah, I'm just attending to that. I'm gonna check the wagon. I'm gonna see what we have in there, what could be useful for help, and basically, I think once I give Tsum Tsum some time to walk around a little bit, I'll rehitch him up and start bringing the wagon towards the area where Aggie is healing people.
Mm-hmm.
This is twofold. I want to get her materials to her, but also I'm going to use this opportunity to try and clear some rubble and stuff out of the streets.
Mm-hmm.
Also, just as a means.
Perfect. So as you're kind of digging through the cart and seeing your supplies, you do see that Aggie still has a couple medical supplies left in there. Nothing that's super effective, but there's some basic necessities that you can pull to help pass out to the individuals in the Night's Watch, if you'd like. Let's jump over to Keen and Nrobso. Keen, as you're walking through, looking for any children specifically that might be lost or without family. Any kids that you do see wandering through, it's almost like they are immediately scooped up by the Night's Watch, as it looks like they're also prioritizing keeping the children safe at this point. You see a couple of the Night's Watch kind of grabbing a couple kids, walking them around the corner, and you see just this look of relief on some of the Ambrian adults as they just go rushing over and just hugging their kids in just a long embrace. So there's no real immediate danger of any lost children at this point, at least in this area that you're currently in. However, I will need a vigilance check from you, please.
Okay. That is a 9 out of 7.
9 out of 7. Okay.
Yeah.
No worries. No worries. As you're just kind of walking through this area, you think you hear something, but as you kind of turn in that direction, don't quite see what made that noise. But it was just almost a moment of almost like shivers running over you briefly. Whatever that source was, you're not entirely certain. Nrobso, approaching the gates as well. You're specifically looking for Krenko and the boys.
Krenko, the boys, and Red Herring.
And Red Herring, okay. Nrobso, as you enter into the gate, you're seeing a lot of the same devastation, but go ahead and also give me a vigilance check if you'd be so kind.
13 out of 12.
13 out of 12. You're seeing a lot of the same, unfortunately, with kind of the crowds of displaced individuals walking through the streets, trying to navigate the devastation. They just, you can't quite make out any sign of not you, Krenko, or numbers 1, 2, 3, or 4. You don't even really see any signs of Red Herring at this time. However, you are all currently just within that first southern gate of Thistlehold, so you can certainly begin making your way deeper into the city, closer to the sinkhole if you all wish, or over towards the Sun Temple, the Ordo Magica, the Knight's home, the Mayor's home is going to be probably the closest landmark that you would also know.
I would be interested in going to see Mayor Nightpitch. I will just kind of look around to see if I can make eye contact with any of my companions if they want to go.
Okay. I will say the only one that you also see currently at this time is Nrobso, who's also kind of wandering, looking a little bit lost. You do know the direction that Aggie took Captain Marvello, though you can't quite see where those two are at. And you also know where Laerke had wandered off to as well, but you do not see her.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on. Let's go see Mayor Nightpitch. Don't you want to get paid?
Oh, yes. Mayor Nightpitch
And we
would
can
be
get
the most advantageous part to visit right now, so yes, indeed. Let's travel to see Mayor Nightpitch.
maybe we can get some answers, and you can get money.
Money's just as important as it was when we started, so yes.
Okay.
All right.
Keep a lookout for Krenko and the boys, 1 through 4, and if you see Red Herring, we must also acquire Red Herring.
Absolutely, but shouldn't we be worried about potentially any displaced civilians as well on our way?
No.
Why not?
Well, if the civilians are displaced, then maybe they are exactly where they should be at the same time.
I see. Very well. I will also help look for your friends. I mean, your employees. I'm sorry, Nrobso, for misspeaking.
No, it's fine. It's just another time of goblins not being seen as people that work under them. I understand.
Indeed. Oh, very well. And I will keep my eye out for them as we walk.
Okay. The two of you heading towards Nightpitch's home. Go ahead and give me some fresh vigilance checks, the two of you, please.
15 out of 7?
Oof.
13 out of 12.
Oh my gosh, you two are absolutely killing it with these vigilance checks. Moving through, it's a lot of the same, just crowds walking through the streets, trying to pick up where they can. but you are able to make your ways over to the home of Mayor Nightpitch. As you approach, you can see that there are about 6 Night's Watch guards who are currently just standing along his front fence line. And you can definitely tell this place is a little bit more on high alert at this time. But you may certainly approach if you wish.
Well met. We're here to speak to Mayor Nightpitch.
And you are?
We are the compatriots that Mayor Nightpitch had hired to investigate the issues with the sinkhole.
More specifically, I am Nrobso, the hero of Karabadox.
Oh, you're
And
one
I'm
of
Keen.
the builders?
Hero, more specifically. I don't know if you know much about the goblin community, but I saved a lot of them in my time.
Did you know?
He did, actually.
And
there are legends of me.
does Mayor Nightpitch know you're coming?
Mayor Nightpitch would likely expect us. Mayor Nightpitch has been putting us up in town for a few nights and knew and spoke with us when we were telling him about the activities in the sinkhole.
Surely he's mentioned us a few times here and there.
Perhaps to some of us, but not all of us. There's quite a few guardsmen in the city.
Well, then maybe it's a more needs-to-know basis.
Mm-hmm.
I believe what we're trying to say is that if you went to check with Mayor Nightpitch and explained who we are, we're sure that he would be glad to meet with us.
And it's at
especially with the hero of Karabadox.
It's at this time that you hear the familiar voice of Mayor Nightpitch coming from behind where you two are standing. It's all right. It's all right. They're always welcome. And you can see now he is approaching from within the city itself, and you can see that his plate armor is very much scuffed up and covered in what looks to be just this same bubbling black ichor that has been coming off of these creatures from the previous fights that you had engaged in with them. You see as he just kind of walks over, he's just kind of slowly unbuckling it all and just kind of lets it fall to the ground around him. You two, please pick that up and bring it in. Keen and Nrobso.
Be sure to tell the rest of the guards about the hero of Karabadox is always welcomed here in the mayor's home.
And the guard just kind of looks at you and just says, "Yeah, I'll spread that for sure."
Always welcome.
He kind of grabs the armor in a huff and begins walking it back towards the home. And Nightpitch just kind of looks at the two of you. Well, I suppose the hold owes you even more now.
While that is true, and I'm sure, and she takes a sidelong glance at Nrobso, we will speak about that very soon. We are also hopeful that there is a way we can serve the city in its current state. Gestures wildly at the background.
And what would very much be helpful is if the heroes of the community perhaps had a manor or a place to stay.
Well, I know that there's some empty property lots around. Unfortunately, he kind of turns around. You see a lot of the buildings are kind of beginning to fall apart. We're gonna have to do a bit of repairing here, but we can certainly have a home built for you lot. I suppose that's a reasonable request, considering you're the reason the hold still stands.
And of course, there's no rush whatsoever, right? Hero of Karabadox? No rush whatsoever. It's much more important to make sure civilian homes are built first.
Oh, where would we rest?
We'll figure it out. We are very good at figuring it out.
Well, I'm
But
just
not
saying,
everyone is.
we spend a good amount of days just living in an inn like the riffraff we have putting out a lot of work, and I'm just saying it would be very nice if our base of operation wasn't an inn.
While I do agree, Nrobso, I do think we will get our accommodation in time. I just feel like right now is not the best time for that to be number one priority. Maybe some financial compensation so that we can stock up for some of our nights elsewhere.
Make money just to spend money. Yes, a nice substantial amount of financial gains would be important as well. And I suppose the people and civilians, goblins included, could also be looked after.
Of course, whatever can be spared at this time, we can take things in installments if there's a lot of restoration work that needs to be done that's very expensive.
Yes, it's going to take a bit of time and a bit of coin, of course. We wouldn't want our friends from Karabadox working for free.
Well, we should also equally check on them. I don't really talk to the chief as much, but it'd be nice to know that the town of in the Karabadox is taken care of.
I can send some messengers there to ensure that none of the forces from here made its way that far.
And what sort of things can we do for the city during this time? Is there anything maybe we can help with? Right, Nrobso? Things we can help with?
Is there people that needs to be murdered?
I can't say that we need anybody murdered right now.
Well, there is one exception to that, actually. Mayor Nightpitch, have you seen Balmello around by chance?
I saw him fighting near the sinkhole. Of course, that was about an hour or so ago. And once everything kind of settled in, I'm not certain where he ran off to.
Just so you're aware, Mayor Nightpitch, I do not believe Balmello is who you believe he is. So be careful with him. And if he must be used, use his muscles very hard during the restoration work.
What do you mean he's not exactly who I think he is?
Leggies? Should we have that conversation out in the open like this?
Well, I guess what I mean is that Balmello just isn't pulling his weight as much. He isn't helping us enough with the cooperation towards all of this.
Give me a persuasion check if you would, Keen.
That is a 7 out of 11.
Okay. And Night Pitch just kind of leans back for a moment and just... I can assure you he does plenty for the hold. I mean, I know he's not the friendliest of sorts, but he's done well to protect the hold in times past.
Wonderful.
But I will keep that in mind. Now, if there's anything else on your mind...
What's the status right now of the town? Is there anything else that you know that you can share with us?
Unfortunately, I've got about as much information as all of you. Whatever was crawling out of the sinkhole seems to have stopped, as have the tremors. But for now, until we've got more debris removed and a better count on who we've lost and who's still around, unfortunately, it's just a giant puzzle at this point that we need to put together.
I see. Of course, of course. Well, then I think we'll be in touch, right, Nrobso, as we need more information. And we can talk about the payment plan, right, Nrobso?
Ooh, a payment plan. That sounds like this is going to be a long. Oh, hold on, something's broken and the kids need me. But yes, payment plan, that would be great.
All right. We will jump back over to Aggie for a moment here, as you are currently patching up Captain Ravello. As you're kind of finishing up the splint around her arm, and looks in your direction. And so, what exactly did you see down there?
Can I make a what would be like the equivalent of like an insight check?
This would be a cunning check.
Cunning check?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Because yeah, I'm at the point right now where like I've got I have good vibes, but they are not like confirmed like, yeah, no, I can trust you.
Sure.
Yet.
Sure.
That is a 13 out of 15.
Okay. Looking at Marvello, she's very much just kind of wide-eyed. You can tell that her mind is racing right now, almost like she's trying to piece it together herself. Up to this point, she's given you no reason to not trust her, and from what you're kind of getting, it seems like she's more so just her own curiosity more than anything.
And right now we're in a tent with a few other people, but it's decently private enough for us to have a conversation.
Yeah, there's no patients like immediately right next to you. There's a few individuals who are kind of wandering around outside the tent, but nobody that you can see is paying attention to either of you.
Cool. I'm gonna just give a little smirk and be like, in all honesty, if I told you, I'm afraid you wouldn't believe me. But also at this point, I feel like if any of us had been told a week ago about the events that happened today, would we have believed that?
You know, I'd always heard stories of the horrors that hide within the Davokar woods. Never really believed them, but after all that's taken place, makes you question a lot, you know? I always grew up hearing that Prios would protect us and Prios would guide us, and look at where it's gotten us so far. It's a lot to absorb at once, you know?
Yeah. Yes. Even in my years, I'm having trouble, and I've got a lot of experience under my belt, so I can only imagine. But down in the sinkhole, there was a cult trying to resurrect an old god and bind him to their will. I'm sure you remember our friends from the forest who came in.
Oh, I remember.
Well, I hope from now on you can take this experience and magic users are not all evil. They were instrumental in defeating the horrors that we faced. And then and also magic users can do cool things like create a portal to the woods where you can go and then properly resurrect a god. And we were thanked by a god. It was a lot. It was very interesting. Now you know why I said you probably wouldn't believe me.
Oh.
But
Again, 20 years ago, Prios was the only god that we knew. And we came to these lands, and now it seems that perhaps we've angered some of the gods here. But now my fear is that with everything that's happened here, what if the Queen starts sending more forces to this area? Is that only going to make things worse, do you think?
I mean, it depends. What do you think the Queen's intentions are?
I've never met her. I've only seen her walk through during her visitations. She's young. I think probably only mid-20s at the most. And it seems like she's headstrong and is trying to figure it all out at once. Her people truly love her, though. I think she's got good intentions, but how she executes, though, I'm not certain.
Of course. And I know that she is heavily guided by Prios, one might say.
One might say.
Well, as the captain of the watch in this city, I hope that your voice will have weight when I assume she will arrive. This is one of the major holds, and it was just mostly destroyed. So I cannot imagine her not showing up. But when she does, just make sure you tell her the truth.
Of course.
Tell her of the allies that you had from Davokar, and how instrumental they were, and the allyships that could be created, and hopefully her mind will expand.
Hopefully. And it's at this point, Aggie, that you feel a familiar warmth coming from within your pocket as you feel one of your message stones. Almost as though somebody's trying to contact you.
I'm gonna put my hand on her other arm, the one that's not broken, and just say, however, right now you need to rest. You've done so much today, and you deserve some time to repair.
Of course. Thank you.
Of course. So I'm gonna let her lay down and go outside the tent and take my phone call.
Okay. You step outside. And I will say at this point, Laerke, as you're kind of out there, kind of helping clean and pass things out, you do see Aggie once more as she's leaving the medical area. Oh, we got switched around there. One moment, everybody. There we go. And Laerke, you see Aggie reach into her pocket and pull out one of the message stones. And Aggie, you hear a familiar voice, that of Leohan. Gosh, I'm not sure if this is coming through. Aggie? Aggie, please tell me you're there.
Hello. I'm here. I'm good.
Oh,
It's good to hear you.
you two think Prius, you survived. How is everything at the hold?
It looks very different from when you left. And I'm not sure if you know yet, but I'm so sorry to say that your brother did not survive. He fought so valiantly, though, and he saved many, many lives.
It's not surprising. He was always the strongest. Oh. Thank you for telling me. I'll send a request to the Sun Temple to have him properly buried there. Van Hall and I shall make our way back so we can say a proper goodbye. The rest of you, though, are you all okay?
Thankfully, yes.
Good. Good. I know you've been through a lot recently, but there's something I wanted to pass along to you that I thought was important. We've just received word, almost a request, myself and Van Hall. It would appear that the Queen is sending several parties of soldiers to Davokar. I don't have all of the details, but I believe it has something to do with the prophecy. Van Hall and I, we will make our way back to Thistlehold so we can say goodbye to Henlone, but beyond that, we've been requested as well to head into the wood. Again, I will serve the Queen, but I just thought you should know, especially because of companions that you travel with and the company you keep. I don't know what to think, what to feel. I don't want to do anything to hurt you or your group, but I also must do my duty. I just thought you should know.
I understand. I actually just had this conversation with Captain Marvello. We were literally just moments ago discussing what we feel the Queen is going to do in response. And this is one of the worst case scenarios. I just hope that as one of her most trusted champions, you might be able to use your influence to tug at her ear.
I will do what I can.
Let her know the allies that helped Thistlehold. And let her know how many of them came from the woods.
I will.
Have you given her the tablet yet?
No. It's still in my possession. Plan on hanging on to it as long as I can, though. Unfortunately, I might not have much say in the matter here soon, if she is sending some guards directly from Nrobso to come retrieve it from the wall.
Understood. I'm afraid I don't have a plan off the top of my head for that one, other than taking it back with you to Thistlehold and just playing dumb, like, well, I was supposed to guard it. Nobody had picked it up by the time I left.
I wish it were that simple, but unfortunately, there are others in Temple Wall who are now aware of its presence, and
of course,
if I try anything that seems out of line, well, let's just say that could end very poorly for myself.
I understand. Well, keep yourself safe. Thank you for the update. I will pass along that information. We will make plans. And I think it's up to all of us to prevent this conflict from escalating, and for all of us to try to get the powers that be to focus on the true enemy.
Of course. Well, so I've got much preparation to do with Ven Hall, and if you're still in the hold when we get there, it would be nice to see you, but if you've moved on, we at least have a way of communicating. Stay safe, Miss Aggie.
You as well. Safe travels, and I hope we're able to catch each other.
And Aggie, as you're having this conversation, you do see Laerke as well out here.
I just give Laerke a face. It's the oh girl. We thought shit was hitting the fan before, but shit's hitting the fan face.
Right.
Yeah, I think Laerke is just going to like move, get the cabin set up and drop the little thing down, or the wagon set up, drop the little thing down for Aggie and start getting people organized and line up to get treated.
Okay, perfect. So you start helping set up the medical tent as more individuals are kind of ushered in. And again, as you're standing here, thankfully a lot of them don't have any life-threatening wounds, as you can see. Keen and Nrobso, as you're finishing up at Tamir Night Pitch's home, thing the two of you would like to do in particular at this point.
So Nrobso,
Yeah.
why are we protecting Balmello exactly?
Are we protecting Balmello?
I don't know. You said not to speak about Balmello's
Oh.
identity.
Oh, no. More in the sense of he could have ears in the skies.
Oh,
Wouldn't that
please.
be more dangerous to include Mayor Night Pitch in the investigation that we're doing in finding this person?
I suppose, but whatever Bonmello's playing at, he's playing a very long, stupid cat and mouse game with me specifically, and it's very annoying. And also, just so you know, Nrobso, Bonmello at one point killed my entire family. So, just putting it out there.
Well, Nrobso once had an arch nemesis and perhaps still does. Nrobso has learned to let go of this threat from this Lord Durego. And now the mouse and cat game is no longer a burden to Nrobso. Bonmello will get his in due time, yes, but do not let it plague your thoughts of every waking moment.
I suppose that's fair. Is there anything that we should do on our way back to our companions? Anyone else we should check on? Do you want to check on Kargoy or not?
I suppose the guy that we've bullied for a little bit could maybe perhaps use some checking in and comforting. But on the way, also keep an eye out for Kranko. I'm getting more and more worried.
Yes. Let's see. And I'm looking around. Do I see anything, Nate?
Sure. Go ahead, give me a vigilance check. Nrobso, you may as well.
Yeah, that's a 20 out of 7. So how much do I see?
Oh my god, you two are terrible with the rolls today.
Nrobso, I don't think they're in this part of town at all. The only thing I see that's green is an apple, and it's half burnt.
Nrobso is more concerned if Kranko is alive or dead, but perhaps Kargoy will ease the thought of Nrobso.
Right.
I didn't know Cargo had that ability with you.
More so of his burdens are probably a lot worse than my own. You know.
Oh, yes.
His daughter and why do we have the ability to help? Did we learn of said ability?
I believe that there's things that Aggie knows. I believe so.
Do you and
Remember,
Aggie
because
have one of those stones?
You know, now that I'm thinking about it, stones for the entire party would be a great investment.
I can't believe this whole time. There's
many things I also can't believe this whole time, Nrobso. Well, maybe it's just the stress of all of the events of the past week. Didn't think about getting sending stones with each other.
We can add it to the list.
We have a list?
Yes. Check on Kargoy. Check on
yes.
Kranko.
Things to do list, yes.
Send in stones.
Great.
Potential chance to murder Bonmello. Not in any particular order, just those are the 4 things I can name.
And helping the town rebuild, right? 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 Huh? The town? Rebuilding the... Okay, anyway, to Kargoy.
Nrobso has already built a wall on the west side, and I feel like my time of building just needs a lot more of an incentive than this.
All right.
Really? The hero of Crapadox?
Yeah, those are my people. And then I repaired the wall on the west gate.
Very well.
Okay. So, we will put Keen and Nrobso heading to Kargoy's house. We have Aggie and Laerke kind of near the barracks and the makeshift medical tent setup. And with that, let's go ahead and take a quick break. We'll be right back in about 10-15 minutes or so, and we will jump right back into our session. Thank you all so much for sticking with us. Happy Sunday. We'll see you soon. And welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for sticking around. Welcome in, Time Lord's wife. Thank you so much for the raid. Super, super appreciate it. Hope you had a fantastic stream over on your channel as well. For those who don't follow Time Lord's wife, seriously, give them a follow. They are fantastic. Run some incredible games. Check them out. All right, so where we will pick up, I've got Keen and Nrobso heading towards the veteran warrior Kargoy's home. And we have Aggie and Laerke over at the medical tent currently. So let's start off with Keen and Nrobso. At this point, you two have easily enough made your way through the city over towards the home of Kargoy. And you can tell that this area of the city doesn't seem to have been affected as much by the battle, as a lot of these buildings over here don't seem to have the same type of scarring that you've seen throughout the rest of the hold. But you see the familiar standing structure of Kargoy's home, the door shut, the gate currently shut on his fence. The actions are the two of yours. What would you like to do?
Should we knock?
Kargoy!
Or that?
Kargoy!
And you see the door open and just... You two.
Well met. How are you today?
In one piece.
Good to hear. We came to check in on you, right, Nrobso?
Yeah. So how's the family?
And you see, like, he just has the most unamused look on his face as you ask him. But he just looks towards you and... They're the same.
We did come to speak about that. We do have reasons to believe. And I'm like, kind of like, I feel like I grabbed Nrobso by the back of the shirt and I'm kind of dragging us into the home. So we're not talking out in public.
Mm-hmm. And Kargoy just kind of... Boris is this. All right, come on.
So we have definitely gotten more information. And I know that our one friend made a concoction, a type of beverage that would help your daughter immensely. And in fact, one of her allies was in town, someone who has the same affliction.
Same affliction
as your daughter.
And he kind of walks over to a chair and just kind of like slumps down in it for a moment. You better not be giving me false hope here.
I don't believe we are, Nrobso?
Nrobso only gives out facts and information. No falseness ever comes from the lips of Nrobso.
Now, of course, we should amend this by saying, of course, that sometimes things might not work out. These types of things, while there's science to it, of course, there's always some kind of trial and error. And this is not the sort of thing that we ourselves are capable of doing, but we might have some answers for you, and we would greatly like to be able to move forward with this before we might have to leave town. Maybe bring our friend over. She does have a concoction to give you for your daughter, and maybe we can work on getting some more answers.
Give me a persuasive roll if you would, Keen.
All right. That is an 8 out of 11.
Okay. And you see him kind of sit there for a moment, and almost a mix of emotion rolls over his face as, for the first time, you almost see a slight smile kind of crawl across his face, and you see his eyes slowly start to well up as he's just kind of sitting there. He just says, "A chance to bring her back to me." What can I do to help? Please.
I don't think we really need anything from you. I think we just need to get you in touch with the right person as soon as possible, because I don't know if there's a time sensitive limit to how much, needs to be done.
Just please.
Maybe we could get a sending stone with you?
I don't have anything like that in my possession, but if we can make this happen, though. Please, just any hour, any time. If what you say is true, just come.
Just while we're on the topic of, what you could do.
I'm gonna kick Nrobso so hard under the table.
No, wait. I'm just asking, what does he plan to do with his daughter? Do you guys stay here? Do you move out? Do you find a different cabin? Because she'll be different.
Depends on the effects of everything, but I've lived a long life. I've no reason to move on anywhere.
Yeah.
And anybody who would have an issue with my daughter, well,
right,
they can face my blade.
Or we could also talk about rational ways to create social change in the town before unveiling your daughter. You do have a very powerful stance.
Well,
your daughter, goblins, anyone different?
Well,
yes, goblins too, yes.
Let's cross the bridge of improving my daughter's health.
Oh, yeah.
First.
That works too. All right. Yeah.
And if
do you have any other homes?
Me personally, just the one.
Ah, all right. Just asking.
Yes, well, I'm sure that you have a lot of information to process, and we should go get that concoction for your daughter, as well as just getting you in touch with our friend. So I think we'll leave you process, and I think we will be on our way. What do you think, Nrobso?
Do you need a hug? When was the last time you had a hug? There's no hug like a goblin hug.
He's just kind of sitting there on his chair. He's not like fighting it. He's just kind of looking at you, kind of puzzled. But
here I come. Negate it if you want, big man. You really need this more than me. Come on.
And you almost feel all of his weight kind of drop down into you as he just kind of slowly wraps his arms around you. Thank you. You know, if you can change a stubborn jackass like me, then perhaps there is hope for this hold.
You're welcome.
Well, I eagerly await your return.
Thank you so much for your time, and we will be on our way. Come, Nrobso.
Okay. Give you X-Team. As you're leaving, give me another round of vigilance checks here.
Man.
20 out of, I think, 7.
Oh my god.
15 out of 12.
No signs of any of your companions that you are currently looking for. It's just a lot of the same Ambrians walking through the streets here. No goblins, no signs of them.
Nrobso. I keep seeing all of these green things, and yet none of them are your friends.
I'll have you know that goblins come in different variety of color.
Oh.
Thank you.
Oh, did I misremember the color of Kranko?
But there's also number 1 and number 2 and Number 3, number 4.
I see. I will remember that. Maybe it's why I haven't caught sight of them yet.
That makes sense. I don't know why I haven't seen them. Guess I'm just short. Kinda hard to see over all these Ambrians and the chaos that's happening.
Indeed. Oh, wow. Such rubble. Well, I feel like we would have seen them if we were walking by them. We are very, very insightful people.
Maybe we can find them once we reconvene with Laerke and Aggie.
Indeed.
And back over at Laerke and Aggie. Laerke, as you see Aggie standing there, you're both kind of near the tent. Laerke, you feel something tug on the back of your cloak. You just hear, "Excuse me."
Yes. She's like gonna like loom over a little bit and be like, yeah.
You're the big one that's friends with Boss, right?
Yes. Are you Cranko?
Yeah, it's me, and I got 2 and 4 with me.
Oh, good. What about oh geez, it's a fish. There's a
herring.
red herring.
Red herring.
Oh, yeah, about the big horse. He see, when the thing started crawling out of the place, the big guy got spooked, and short version, he ran off. I got no clue where the hell he's at.
Ooh. Nrobso's not gonna be.
You're not gonna tell Boss, right?
No, you're gonna tell Bob.
No. That's I don't.
Yeah,
I don't.
Boss needs to
know.
You're gonna tell.
How about
Boss needs to know at some point.
Nobody tells Boss. Nobody. Okay, maybe Boss forgot by now. It's been a couple hours, right?
Boss don't never forget nothing.
I mean, 4. He can't remember anything from 5 minutes ago.
Well, that's why he's not the boss. You understand that, right?
Oh, that's a good point. You hear that, 4? Get a good memory. You can be Boss.
Maybe someday.
Anyway, Boss is okay though.
Yeah. Oh,
good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Actually, you should probably stick around. I'm sure he'll want to see you for himself.
Okay. 2 and 4. You go see if you can find Boss's horse. Go on. And you see the
I
two.
think that's a good idea.
The 2 other goblins kind of look towards each other and shrug, and they just kind of wander off down the street.
Laerke is gonna like look at Aggie and be like, "Is there a 1 and a 3?"
I think so. Any idea where they are, Cranko?
Who?
1 and 3.
1 and 3. No, you mean 2 and 4.
No. We found 2 and 4. Didn't you have a 1, 2, 3, and 4?
Maybe not. I don't think so now.
Just a 2 and a 4?
They're not great with numbers. They kind of change it up.
All right, we'll ask Nrobso when he gets back.
I think. Well, okay. So 4, right? Okay. So Boss is 1. Wait, why am I 3? I guess Cranko should be 2, and then those 2 can be 3 and 4.
There we go.
Perfect.
That makes a little more sense.
Right. So.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay. Good. So that everyone's accounted for except for the horse. This is great.
No. We don't tell Boss about horse though.
Boss is gonna ask about the
No,
horse.
Boss doesn't need to ask. Nope.
I'm letting you know.
Nope.
Boss is gonna ask.
You know
about
what?
the
I think
horse.
what? I hear 4 calling me. I should probably go check on 4.
Yeah, you go check on 4.
Okay, whatever.
And you see Cranko just very hurriedly scuttle off. trailing number 3 and 4.
He's gonna show up and we're gonna have to tell him that we renamed his crew on accident.
Yeah, I guess so.
But a few moments do go by, and eventually you do see Keen and Nrobso also approaching, reconvening with all of you.
Looking bewildered as all hell, I bet.
So,
you guys won't believe what Nrobso did.
Oh, I doubt that.
I gave Kargoy a hug. Yeah.
You are correct.
When you are the heroes of Krabadox, not only do you represent all of the Goblin Nation, but you want to make bridges. You want to make bridges of change, and the guide Kargoy, who didn't like any other person or type of thing, he's coming around. So equality for everyone, starting with the goblins.
Silly me. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Keen.
Oh, no, it's okay. I was just going to say, very importantly, the best way we can continue to build this bridge with Kargoy is to give that substance that you made, Aggie, to him, and also to get Lainey in on this. And I'm going to call our red witch friend, and we are going to start immediately working on the situation with Kargoy's daughter.
Yes, I think that sounds like a good plan.
And I'm also going to call Gadramon while they're continuing to talk to get Gadramon in on this.
Okay.
Is this call happening now?
Well, Nrobso, time is of the essence. I'll be right back.
I have a sending stone to Lainey too, right?
You do?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll go ahead and give Lainey a call.
No, Laerke, we should get sending stones. I didn't know there was such a hot commodity on them. I don't even know where to get a sending stone. They just all of a sudden started appearing, and be very helpful within the group.
And Laerke's just she's sitting down on one of the steps of the wagon. She's kind of hunched over and waving it off like this. No, I'm not super interested in these kids' newfangled technology BS. Just call my name and I'll come over and we'll talk. This is.
Well, I mean, what about Kovaan? We have heard nothing from Kovaan.
He's in the wagon. He's fine,
No.
right? I checked on him. He's one of Aggie's medicines that I mentioned earlier. I was checking.
I only remember you put him down and he did these cool thorny roots.
Yeah, he was helping people fight up here.
Yeah. Oh, have you seen Kranko?
You know what? I have seen Kranko, but Aggie has some news about your horse.
Oh no. Did Red Herring die?
No, not that we know of.
Oh.
Not that we know of.
Did Red Herring
Currently
found?
Spooked and lost.
You're playing tricks on Nrobso.
No. Also, Nrobso, how many employees do you have?
Let's see. There's Kranko. There's number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4.
Okay,
well, wait,
Hold
yeah.
on. Actually, I believe number 1 was maybe demoted to number 2. So we didn't have a number 1. But there was a 3 and a 4.
Is Kranko one of those? Or is he his own number?
Kranko is Kranko.
Okay.
So we're missing 2 goblins.
No, 1. We're only missing one goblin. Because-
We're missing the goblin that was number 3, but now somebody else is getting called number 3.
Yes.
Hmm.
So two was changed to number 3, and number 3 is missing. The original
and-
number 3.
Cranko decided that he's number 2 and you are number 1.
Yes.
Well, Crinkle is wise to place me above all other goblins.
Yes.
But a goblin by any other name is still a goblin.
As green.
Actually, I'm like calling this like from over where I'm talking on the phone. Goblins can be many colors.
Oh.
This is correct.
And apparently they
long
can be
as-
good at building bridges as well as walls.
As long as they are alive, then all is well. Perhaps we can use Panko to send this concoction that Aggie has made to Kargoy. He is more accepting to the goblin kind now.
It's possible.
Yeah.
It is possible. Which, that's the thing. Oh, there was something in... I have to remember, I'm going to go look at my little notebook full of potions. Be like, there was some ingredient that was fairly difficult to get, if I remember correctly. Do I remember? I know I don't. But does Aggie?
I believe Aggie would probably have it written down in her notebook. Your GM will also have to go search through his notes to find it as well.
Stunning! Perfect.
But yes, you are aware of it.
Cool. Also, LOL sidebar, I have a dog that has been going for a minute, so I'm going to take her out real quick.
No worries, no worries. All right, let's jump over to Keen. You have stepped away to take on a call with your good friend Gadramon. So, as you're kind of stepping away from the group to an area that's a bit more private, you found like a spot between a couple of buildings that are damaged but still standing. Kind of a little alleyway that's kind of out of the way. You pull out your sending stone, and you feel its warmth and heat in your palm as it begins to light up. What would you like to say?
Gadramon, is this you?
And as you ask, is this you, Gadramon? You wait a few moments, and from above you, this strange mound of clothing and flesh just falls and lands on the ground directly in front of you.
Am I
And
nearby?
you can see that some blood is kind of slid off of it, almost laying in droplets across your own cloak. And if you look down, you can see that this is the skin of Balmello laying on the ground in front of you. Almost as if he's been completely flayed, his skin removed and just chucked from above you.
I'm gonna look up very cautiously. What do I see?
Okay. You look up towards the top of these buildings, and there is indeed a figure standing up there. And when we come back with our next session, I will tell you what that figure looks like. So thank you all so much for sticking with us through episode 1 of season 2. Greatly appreciate it. To all of our wonderful raiders, thank you so much for popping in. We truly appreciate the support and the love. Thank you so much. But let's go ahead and go back around the table. Introduce yourselves again, plug yourselves, any upcoming projects, all that fun stuff. Let's go in reverse this time. Let's start off with Christine.
Hi, everybody. I'm Christine, and I was playing Laerke today. And you can find me here on the initiative order. You can find me over on YouTube with the Overprepared DM coming up soon with Prepared to Dice Now. Or you can find me on my own Twitch channel at twitch.tv/slumberjane. Thanks for hanging out today. Bye.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Let's go over to Leroy.
Hey everybody, it is Leroy on all social media at royalty_no_y. You can find me here on the initiative order playing Symbaroum. On July 28th, I will be playing oh, my baby's here. Hold on, I'm almost done. I will be playing I know the game. Nate, hit me with it.
Cyberpunk Red.
Cyberpunk Red, baby. That's July 28th, so it's a little far off, but that's something to look forward to. And if you want to see some cool videos over on Instagram, you catch me dancing, making skits, being funny, showcasing my kids. And then here on Twitch, every now and then I will hop on and play a little D&D with them. If you want to check out all of the episodes from before, they're all on my YouTube channel. So there's that.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Let's go over to Kelsey.
Hi everyone, I'm Kelsey. You can find me on social media at Tunes and Tomes. I have Instagram, Twitter, things like that. You can find me on Symbaroum on revolving every other Sunday schedules, and on the 28th of May, you can see me in Vossen.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And of course, Coral, please.
Hi friends, I'm Coral Reefer. You can find me on Twitch at Queer Venture Time. We do variety streaming, games. I'm learning how to DJ. I'm going and getting a DJ controller actually in an hour or so. And yeah, I'm turning 30 at the end of this month, so we're just like being gay and stupid all month celebrating.
Fuck yes. Thank you so much. As for myself, I am Nate. You can find me on Instagram, nride93, as well as streaming here with my friends on the Twitch on the initiative order, where obviously I'm the GM for Symbaroum. And if you're interested in hanging out with all of these lovely people, as well as amazing other folks in the TTRPG/nerd community, come join our Discord. There'll be a link down in the chat. We run free-to-play community games. So if you want to check out some different tabletop RPGs and meet some fantastic folks, please come join us. We also host open calls for our streaming projects. We've got lots more in the works, so if you're interested in potentially being a player on stream, or if you want to be a GM on stream, or if you just want to learn about streaming in general, come hang out. We can help. We can teach you. We want to meet you. We want to play games with you. We want to have fun. And just real quick, I just want to shout out our wonderful sponsors, Session Zero Clothing, Arclight Court, Norse Foundry, Mithril Armory, and Umbral Oculus Dice. There will be some discount codes going around down in the chat as well. Check them out. All kinds of fantastic small creators in the community giving out some wonderful discount codes for all of their wonderful TTRPG inspired gear that they all make. Aside from that, I think that's it. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today on Mother's Day to those that celebrate. Hope you all have a wonderful day. And until next time, keep it kind, everybody. We will see you all in the next adventure. Have a wonderful rest of the weekend. We'll see you later.